Vishnupan Paramahamsa Parivekara Stotra Shata Shri Shri Shrimad Grishna Vacharnarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, beautiful Acharya Seva the whole world Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Rath Yatra Mahamahotsav Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subharamaya Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Today is the most grandest festival of the year, which is actually the Rath Yatra ceremony of Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra in the transcendental realm of Puri Dham. Just at this hour, the Pandu Vijaya Seva must be going on for Lord Jagannath. So we will discuss what is this Pandu Vijaya Seva shortly. So this pastime of Lord Jagannath getting ready for the Rath Yatra and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu participated in the Rath Yatra ceremony is being very nicely described in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna himself, attended the Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath of Puri, who is also none other than the Lord himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to attend the Rath Yatra for consecutive 18 years till he wound up his pastimes in this material world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after he took sannyas, for the first 6 years, he traveled on a long pilgrimage covering most part of India. And the last 18 years of his manifest pastimes, he spent his time in Jagannath Puri, and he attended, participated, encouraged devotees also to participate in this Jagannath's Rath Yatra. So this is one such pastime and reference. So this is a description from Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 13. Very interesting description. Early in the morning, when it was quite dark, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his personal associates, very close devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they all got up quite early in the morning and took a bath, and they got ready to attend the Pandu Vijaya ceremony of Lord Jagannath. So, during this Pandu Vijaya ceremony, Lord Jagannath is transported from his throne to the Rath Yatra site. So, as he is transported or moved from his grand throne to the Ratha or the cart, that entire ceremony itself is a big festival called Pandu Vijaya. And during this Pandu Vijaya ceremony, the kind of crowds which come to see the Lord moving from his throne, Simhasana, to the Ratha, millions and millions of devotees throng, practically leaving no place on the roads. So that is why King Prataparudra, who was the then king of Orissa, the 15th century, early 15th century, he made special arrangements for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates to have comfortable darshan of Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra during the Pandu Vijaya Mahotsava. So that's what is happening now in Puri. If you switch on the TV, actually it will be going on now. Lord Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra will be transported, are being transported to their carts. But they'll be en route now, not reached. So, those who lift the Lord and bring them to the Ratha, they're called Dayitas. Dayitas are ones who have received special mercy of Lord Jagannath. The very word Dayita means one who has received special mercy from the Lord. So Jagannatha's servants, his personal Sevites, they're called Dayitas. Just like we have, actually, if you see by Prabhupada's grace, all the devotees who have dedicated their life for Krishna through the ISKCON temples. And even devotees, even if they have not joined, if they have dedicated their life and time and energy to Krishna's seva, they're all Dayitas. So Prabhupada has placed it. We are called Dasa, who has received the mercy and have been elevated to the position of personal Sevites of the Lord, personal servants of the Lord called Dasa. But here, in Orissa, they're called Dayita, personal attendants of Lord Jagannath. Although these Dayitas seem to be coming not from a very high family, but originally these Dayitas have received Lord Jagannath and served Lord Jagannath. They are from the Shabara community. But they were elevated to the position of Dayitas because of their personal service with love and affection to Jagannatha. They've been elevated to the position of Dayitas, or one who has received the direct mercy of Lord Jagannath. But in the Dayitas, there is another group who are also from the high class community, namely the Brahmin community. They are called Daitapatis. So these Daitapatis, they engage in worship of Lord Jagannath. And these Daitapatis, they offer bhoga to Lord Jagannath. So during the Pandu Vijaya Mahotsava, during the period of Anavasara, I'll tell you what is Anavasara. These Daitapatis offer special bhog to Lord Jagannath. And even in the early morning hours, the bhog is offered by these Daitapatis. Now, before the Lord comes to the Rath, or before the Pandu Vijaya ceremony, actually Jagannath stays in what is called as a grand palace for him called Sri Mandir. Then Lord Jagannath, he moves to another chamber just before the Rath Yatra, 15-day period. Before the Rath Yatra, 15 days before the Rath Yatra, the Lord moves to another chamber from his grand throne. Why does he move? Why do they move him? Because Jagannatha is made of wood, apparently. Of course, the Lord is made of wood physically, but his form is transcendental. For the Lord, there is no difference. He is fully present and he is able to fully manifest his potency through the wood also. That is the Lord's potency. So therefore, Jagannatha is not wood actually. He is Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna. Very important to note. So, once a year they bathe the Lord before taking him for the Rath Yatra festival. Actually, Rath Yatra festival ceremony is an outing for the Lord. Just like you also go out in your car. So Lord Jagannatha is Jagatnatha. He's got a big car, and that's called Ratha. You have a small car, BMW, Rolls Royce. He's got a big car he has got. Jagannath Ratha. It's almost like on the height of Mount Meru. And that is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes. So, we'll see that shortly. So 15 days before they bathe Lord Jagannath. Therefore, he has to move out of the altar because he has to bathe. The attendants have to bathe him. So when they bathe Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, they fall sick. So they fall sick. So that 15-day period, there is no darshan of Lord Jagannath in the temple or anywhere in Puri. So for the devotees, these 15 days are the most unbearable period in their life. Somehow they come back to life on the 16th day. They maintain their breath so that hoping Lord Jagannath will very soon come for the Rath Yatra and we will be able to see him. For that only reason they are holding their life, prana. Otherwise, for most devotees, Jagannatha is their life and soul, and therefore, without being able to see Jagannatha, even for a moment, actually their soul separates from their body. But somehow they keep them together with the hope that the Lord is going to come very soon. Let's manage the 15-day period. So this is the most unexpected period for the devotees. It's a period of separation from one's beloved Lord. It is very difficult for the devotees who have developed love for Jagannath, who is Krishna only. So, that period is called Anavasara, where the Lord doesn't give darshan to the public. After that, the Lord is painted, decorated nicely, and gets ready for the Rath Yatra ceremony. So that's how the Pandu Vijaya Mahotsava begins. So how does this ceremony take place, this Pandu Vijayotsava? So first of all, these Daitas, not Daitapatis. Daitapatis, they do worship and then they offer bhog to the Lord. But the Daitas from the Shabara community, they lift the Lord because Lord Jagannath is even physically very heavy, actually. Some few tons probably. Very, very heavy. They lift Lord Jagannath, if not few tons, few tens of 100 kg or more than that. So they lift the Lord. So some of them hold the shoulders of Lord Jagannath and some of them hold the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath. And they tie Lord Jagannath's waist with a pattadori, a silken rope. Tie him up tightly with a silken rope. And the ropes stretching on both the sides so that they can lift him up. With the strong ropes, they lift him up. And below Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, they place some heavy cotton pads for the Lord to rest, because for the Lord to sit nicely. Some cotton pads. So that is placed. They are called tulis in, I think, in Odia language. Tuli. It's a cotton pad on which Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra sit. And then there is a pattadori, the silken rope which is surrounding Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, with the help of which they lift Lord Jagannath and then they transport the Lord from the altar and keep walking towards the Ratha site. So, because of the heaviness of the deity of Lord Jagannath, these small, no doubt it's good heavy cotton, they break, cotton pads break and make a huge cracking sound. And that cracking sound, Lord Brahma hears in Brahmaloka. Oh, what is this cracking sound? What happened in the earth? What happened in Puri? And he looks down. Oh, Pandu Vijaya Mahotsav. Jai Jagannath. So from Brahmaloka, is Lord Brahma is alerted about Lord Jagannath's Ratha Yatra. So Lord Jagannath is the maintainer of the entire universe. Who can carry him from one place to another? Therefore, the Lord moves by himself, by his own will, by his own sweet choice. It is not that these daitas are carrying him. Otherwise, he is so heavy. You cannot even lift him. By his own will, he decided to come out of his altar, assisted by his loving daitas. Now, at this point, the king and all his family members, that time the king was King Prataparudra, the king and all his family members, they also coming to the balcony of the palace on the main Ratha street called the Grant Road in Puri. Even now it is named in the same way. It's called Grant Road. So from the balcony of the palace, which is on the main Grant Road, very near to the Jagannath's main temple, Sri Mandir, the king's family member come out and then they watch Lord Jagannath's Pandu Vijayotsava. But as I said, the king made special arrangements for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his party to have close darshan of Lord Jagannath as he is moving. So when Lord Jagannath is moving out from his altar to the car, King Prataparudra came out of the palace and personally he held a golden broom. He held a golden broom, Suvarna Marjani, and he started brooming the road, which is the approach road for the Lord from the altar to the Ratha site. He personally took the broom, a golden broom with a golden handle, and started sweeping the street. And he sprinkled Chandana Jalete, sandalwood water on the road, so that there is nice, beautiful fragrance as the Lord is moving. So, although this king actually was very powerful, very rich, very opulent, very royal, still Tuchcha Seva, he took up a very menial service for Lord Jagannath. Without considering his social status as a royal king, he didn't consider. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, because of this attitude and mentality of King Prataparudra, he became a recipient of a special mercy of Lord Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he received the mercy of both these lords because of this humble, menial service to Lord Jagannath. Now there is a description of the cart of Lord Jagannath, very short description. In the Skanda Purana, there is a very detailed description. Probably in one full class we can discuss the detail, because it requires one full class to describe the glories of the Rath of Lord Jagannath and what all details are there in that. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives a summary explanation of the decoration of the Ratha. So this Ratha of Lord Jagannath was made of gold, Suvarna. It was made of gold, golden Ratha. Even Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Rolls-Royce made of tin, aluminium, some metal, that's all. But Lord Jagannath's Ratha was made of gold. And this Ratha was as high as Mount Meru. And that's how the devotees described. So Prabhupada says in the purport nicely. Similarly, Prabhupada says, we recollect that when we started the Rath Yatra in London, Prabhupada introduced this Jagannath Rath Yatra of Orissa of India to outside Indian region, which was never even dreamt of. Nobody could possibly think that there could be a Rath Yatra outside India. And Prabhupada did that. So and that too in the most prestigious nation, Britain. And later on even in US. Because even today, Britain, UK, US, they're considered very, very prestigious. Even in today's times. What to speak of 60 years back. So London, when Prabhupada introduced Rath Yatra, the most famous daily newspaper in London is The Guardian. Even today it is actually the top, The Guardian. So in the Guardian paper, in the main page headlines, this was the headlines in Guardian newspaper. You can just imagine. ISKCON Rath Yatra is rival to the Nelson column in Trafalgar Square. It's the headlines. So, Nelson column is a very important column which is actually depicting a statue of Nelson, Lord Nelson. And it is so tall, this statue of Lord Nelson can be seen from far distance also. Similarly, this Ratha made by the devotees of ISKCON in London is so high. It looked like a rival to this column, Nelson column in London. So, Prabhupada says, just as the residents of Puri compare the Ratha car to Mount Sumeru, the residents of London consider the car rival to the Nelson monument. So this Ratha had decorations of bright mirrors and hundreds of chamaras. And on top of the car was a neat and clean canopy. You can see that. Even in today's Rath, it is the same decoration. And many brass bells are hanging, gongs. When the Ratha is being moved, they'll be playing gong. Not 1, 2, 3. Some 500, 600, 1,000 gongs at a time they'll be playing. And ankle bells resounded as the Ratha was proceeding. Now the procession. So finally, Lord Jagannatha sat in his car along with his sister Subhadra and his elder brother Balarama. And they have another 2 more cars. Same car will be stuffy. So, and they're also anywhere from the royal, background. So each have their own cars. Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Each have their own cars. And Jagannath's car is the last. So for the 15-day period, Lord Jagannath spends time and gives special association to goddess of fortune. Sometimes we want special association. Prabhu, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ special association ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ? Like that. Give me special association. So Lakshmi, who is the wife of Lord Jagannath, she has an exclusive time with her husband. Otherwise, all the time Jagannath is with public and with bhaktas. So Lakshmi gets a separate time with her husband to spend time during the Anavasara period. So she feels very fortunate. Then Lord Jagannath takes permission from Lakshmi Devi to move out to ride on his car. So he takes permission to come to Rath Yatra. So before the husband goes, he is taking permission from his wife. The system being followed even in the transcendental world and transcendental circles. So Lord Jagannath took permission of Lakshmi Devi and then he comes out to meet his devotees. So, as the Lord rides on the Ratha, performing his pastime with the pleasure of his devotees, on both the sides, on the pathway, it is not some concrete buildings, lush green forests, gardens, beautiful gardens, lakes, like we have Indradubna Sarovara. So like that, many nice gardens are there en route, the Ratha route. They looked and gave the appearance of Vrindavana. And the small sarovars, they resembled Yamuna river. And all through the path there is fine white sand spread all through the route, which resembles the banks of Yamuna. So Lord Jagannath is actually Krishna. Therefore, he felt the same Vrindavan atmosphere as he was proceeding to Gundicha Mandir on the other side. That is the end point of the Rath Yatra, from Sri Mandir to Gundicha temple. So, the ones who were pulling the cart, the Ratha, they are called Gaudas. They are called Gaudas. And they pull with great pleasure. However, sometimes the Ratha would move very fast. Sometimes it seems to move very slow. Sometimes the Ratha would move. Sometimes the Ratha would actually not move and become standstill. Even though it was being pulled, still Ratha will not move at all. The Lord Jagannath does not want to rush. He is on a stroll. It's a cool Rath Yatra. There's no tension of catching up time and distance there. He is on his pleasure trip. Therefore, there's no hurry. So, Ishvara Ichchaya Chale, Na Chale Karo Bale. Actually, the Ratha was moving by the choice of Jagannath, not because somebody is pulling the Ratha. Krishna Balaram Gurtai Prabhupada ki jai. So it is not because the Gaudas are pulling the Ratha, therefore the Ratha is moving. Actually, that is not true. Lord wants to move, therefore the Ratha is moving. That is why, now this episode is discussed in detail in the later part, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we will not discuss today. So, how much ever these Gaudas who are very strong try to pull the Rath, it will not move at all. But at another time, simply little pulling, Rath will run in great speed. So Lord Jagannatha is deciding the acceleration of his movement. So Ishvara Ichchaya Chale, Na Chale Karo Bale is what the Acharya describes. So when the Lord Jagannatha's cart stopped, Jagannath also wants to see who are all the bhaktas who have come. He wants to have a glance. Who are all the devotees who have come? How is the festival arrangement? Little you have to see left, right, no? Just like in the car also, when we also travel, simply it is rushing with speed. Speeding up, there is no enjoyment. Slowly the car goes, and especially there are nice fields, left, right. It's very nice drive. Because concrete building is nothing to see anyway. But otherwise, very nice to see. Lord Jagannath also wants to see all his devotees. And when the Ratha stopped, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gathered all his devotees. And the Ratha stands still. Anyway, Ratha is not moving. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gathered all his devotees and he personally decorated his devotees with flower garlands and Chandana lepana, sandalwood paste, he smeared and applied on their bodies. Beginning with Paramananda Puri and Brahmananda Puri. And further, he placed the garlands and smeared sandalwood paste on Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, and all the Sankirtan team, Sankirtana performers, the devotee of Sankirtana. In this way, he increased their transcendental pleasure. Then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu formed primarily 4 parties, Sankirtana parties, and made one devotee chief of each Sankirtana party. And these are not ordinary devotees, huh? Sankirtan leaders, they are called. They are not ordinary devotees. Each is a stalwart. So, yeah. So in the first party, he made Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar was his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary. He made him as the Sankirtan leader of the first party. And Advaita Acharya, who is Mahavishnu himself, he was the main dancer in the first party. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Mahavishnu as Advaita Acharya, now you go and dance as the main dancer. And Swarup Damodar, you are the main lead singer. And then he gave out 5 assistants for follow-up singing. And so these 4 parties, this is the first party, 4 parties, totally comprising of 24 chanters. That means 6 in each party. And adding 2 Mridanga players to each party. That becomes 8 in each party. So 8 in each party. So Swarup Damodar, Advaita Acharya, main singer, main dancer, and 5 more along with them for following up singing. Then the second party was headed by Srivas Thakur, Narada Muni. Narada Muni himself is a great singer. So Srivas Thakur was heading the second Sankirtan party, and Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balaram himself, he is the chief dancer. And then there are 5 more follow-up singing devotees. Then the third party or third group, Mukunda, he was the chief singer, Sankirtan leader. And Haridas Thakur, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur, we say, he is a senior Haridas, he is called. Haridas Thakur was the main dancer. Haridas Thakur was a great dancer. The third party. And 5 more singing devotees. In the fourth party, the Lord appointed Govinda Ghosh. In our Sandhyarthi song, we sing that. All these names, Mukunda, Govinda Ghosh, all their names come in Sandhyarthi song. ISKCON, we sing this every day. So, Govinda Ghosh was the leader and Vakreshwar Pandit was the main dancer. And supported by 5 follow-up singers. And all those follow-up singers are also very great singers. Not ordinary singers. These are the 4 parties. Then, there are 3 more parties, Kirtan parties. One from Kulina Grama, one from Shantipur, another from Kanda. So, therefore, totally 7 parties were there, Sankirtan parties. 4 parties would sing and dance in front of Lord Jagannath. 2 parties on both the sides of the Rath. 1 party on the back side of the Rath. So totally 7 Kirtan parties were there. Numbering 56 devotees in the team overall. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought all of them together when the Rath would stop. Even the side 2 parties and the rear part, Sankirtan party, all of them also will come in the front. And combined, they will become 7 groups in front of Lord Jagannath. And then they would, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when these 7 groups combined, Lord Chaitanya would personally come. And he would dance through all the 7 groups. So he would become the chief of all the groups dancing. And he raised his arms and he shouted, all glories to Lord Jagannath. All glories to Lord Jagannath. And at this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did some miracle. Simultaneously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in all the 7 groups. But each group thought the Lord is only dancing in their group. But the fact was, he was dancing simultaneously in all the 7 groups. Nobody could see and therefore understand that the Lord is simultaneously present in all the 7 groups and dancing. So everyone thought, oh, Lord Chaitanya has now come to my group to dance now. And he does not go anywhere else. He is bestowing his special mercy upon our group of devotees. So actually, only King Prataparudra and Kashi Mishra was the administrator of the Jagannatha temple at that time. Great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and also a Brahmana, first class Brahmana. So, King Prataparudra, Kashi Mishra and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a great logician of the country at that time. The top logician at that time. Actually, he was incarnation of Brihaspati. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is actually incarnation of Brihaspati, who is the guru of all the devatas. You can just imagine. So only these 3 personalities, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath, could realize actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expanded into 7 forms and simultaneously dancing in all the 7 groups. So King Prataparudra informed Kashi Mishra that the Lord is dancing in 7 groups simultaneously. So Kashi Mishra said, my dear king, you are the only person who is able to see this. So you are greatly fortunate and blessed. This is one mystery. The second mystery is Lord Jagannatha is observing the dance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Lord himself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Lord himself, and who is seeing Lord Jagannatha face to face from below the Ratha. So Jagannath is seeing Lord Chaitanya from above the Ratha. Lord Chaitanya is seeing the Lord from below the Ratha. So both Lords are seeing each other. But nobody could understand that both are Lords. So this is another mystery. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he danced in front of Lord Jagannatha's cart and inundated the whole world with great ecstatic waves of joy of Sankirtana. So now, the description of Lord Chaitanya's dancing while the Ratha was moving towards Gundicha Mandir from Sri Mandir. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came to dance, all the 7 groups combined. Otherwise, they would separate. 4 in the front, 2 in the side, and 1 in the rear of the cart. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would jump very, very, very high, 9 devotees would surround him. A circle they would form so that nobody would come inside that circle, because he would really jump sky high. Lord Chaitanya would really jump sky high. Literally. Facing Lord Jagannath with raised hands, he would jump in front of Jagannath. You can see when Prabhupada's famous dancing in front of the cart of Jagannath in London. In a similar way, Prabhupada raising hands in front of Jagannath, he would also jump and dance and encourage all the Westerners in a similar manner. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he placed Swarup Damodar as the in-charge head for these 9 devotees and instructed him that others should not come within this circle. So sometimes there is private kirtan and dancing also like this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his raised hands, he would offer very, very nice prayers to Lord Jagannath. One of the first prayers he offered to Jagannath with his raised hands, jumping like anything, is Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Two prayers we will chant. Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. You can repeat these two prayers. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So this means Krishna, he is worshipped by the Brahmanas. Brahmanya Devaya, worshipped by the Brahmanas. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. And Krishna's prime duty is to take care of the welfare of cows and Brahmanas. Although he is the Lord of the universe, still he is concerned more about the welfare of the cows and Brahmanas and Jagat Hitaya, the welfare of the entire universe. That Krishna is Govinda. Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. So this prayer Lord Chaitanya offered. The second prayer he offered is, you can repeat. Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandanaha Asau Jayati Jayati Krishna Vrishni Vamsha Pradipaha Jayati Jayati Mega Shyamalaha Komalangaha Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasha Mukundaha. Very nice prayer, very simple meaning. So Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandana Asau. All glories unto the Devo, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Devaki Nandana Asau, who is known as the son of Mother Devaki. Then Jayati Jayati Krishna. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is Vrishni Vamsha Pradipaha, who is known as the light of the dynasty of Vrishni. Vrishni Vamsha Pradipa. Pradipa means light. It is the light of the Vrishni dynasty. The glory of the Vrishni dynasty. Then Jayati Jayati Mega Shyamala Komala Anga. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose bodily luster is that of a new cloud. Mega Shyamala Komala Anga. And whose body is Mega Shyamala, luster of a new cloud, and Komala Anga, whose body is as soft as a lotus flower. Then Jayati Jayati Prithvi Bharanasha. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared on this planet to deliver the burden this earth is facing. Prithvi Bharanasha, by killing all the demons from the surface of the earth. Prithvi Bharanasha Mukundaha, and who offers liberation to everyone. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he performed and led the Rath Yatra festival for the pleasure of Jagannath. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Yet, playing the role of a devotee of Krishna, he is giving pleasure to Lord Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath, every now and then he would stop the Ratha so that he can see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees and relish their dancing and have darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and see the beautiful dance of Lord Chaitanya unseen in all the three worlds. So Lord Jagannath relished Lord Chaitanya's dancing along with his devotees, and Lord Chaitanya relished the darshan of Lord Jagannath. So in this way, this Rath Yatra ceremony is described by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So you can actually see in the TV also, they have a live relay today of this Puri Rath Yatra. So we'll stop here. श्री जगन्नाथ रथ यात्रा महोत्सव की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।